Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back once again for the analysis session of CUET Undergraduate 2023. Today was day 2, and so far the feedback is very clear. The students are actually enjoying the exam. And the best part this time is we have not come across any report about technical glitches. I think India has done a wonderful job, and the lessons have been learned from last year. Not only the number of centers have been increased, but I think the technical aspect has been beautifully taken care of. Yeah, we did saw some reports. In fact, one of my colleague, when he was at the center for the examination yesterday, his exam started quite late actually, but that was okay. There were no technical glitches during the exam. I hope all of you have read about what happened last year. I personally faced those issues last year when I was appearing for CUET examination last year. तो होपफुली इस बार नहीं होना चाहिए ऐसा कोई इशू. अभी 2 दिन निकल गए हैं, 13 दिन और बचे हुए हैं, बट 2 दिन निकल चुके हैं और बहुत स्मूथली एग्जाम हुआ है. So gradually they are bringing up each of these subjects. So yesterday was more focused on English GT and sciences. Today we had humanities subjects coming up actually. So hopefully from tomorrow we might see the commerce related commerce stream subjects also being administered. But today we have with us, and while yesterday we could not do that, but today I have, you can see the panel out here, and some of you would definitely recognize your mentors for sure if you are attending it live right now. So I have with me Preeti Sagar ma'am, who is a CL mentor for history. Akshika ma'am, she appeared for the examination today while she takes the business studies classes for you guys, but she appeared for English and GT paper. And I have my colleague Krishnendu, who also appeared for the examination today. So as you can see, he's a CUT test taker, so while he's not a direct mentor, but yes, he does a lot of background work for the students to help them understand about the CUT examination. So first of all, let me straight away go to Preeti Sagar ma'am. And ma'am, how was your experience of taking the paper?
It was very good. I did not expect that this year as well. CUT is going to be very easy, and it was, yes, it was very easy, whether it was English paper or history. So I cannot tell you when I was about to appear in the examination. So lots of thoughts had been there, how I am going to perform. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि स्टूडेंट्स के बीच में ना कट जाए काइंड ऑफ टू मेनी क्वेश्चंस हैड बीन देयर but it went very well. Actually, CUET had made some its pattern like that. Like if you have to choose 40 questions, you have to attempt. So it means they have framed those questions as such. So 40 questions, it is very easy to attempt, and rest of the questions, if you skip it, so it is like that has to be skipped. So it was
Yeah,
like
in
that,
fact,
whether it was in history or in English. So that was my experience, and
yeah, and that is what
particularly
I spoke about the other day.
yeah, exactly. And particularly if I say about history, so lots of questions had been there what I wanted to attempt, but there was a limit. 40K beyond I cannot go, and that was what the problem from my side. I wanted to attempt, but I could not. So it means that paper was very easy. Lots of segments are been there, like last year. Yeah, one more thing I want to say over here, that some of the questions I found that it has been repeated. So last year, same questions had been asked, and this year as well, the same question had been asked. So more about chronology-based questions. What I found. So I will come on the chapters as well. What all chapters had been there. So overall, it was very easy. So there is no need to be panic. We are underprepared or anything like that. जो भी पढ़ा है बहुत अच्छा पढ़ा है और अच्छे से एग्जाम क्लियर हो जाएगा.
So दो चीजें तो बिल्कुल क्लियर हो जाती हैं. So I'll come back to you. One is कि you have 10 questions mandatory to leave actually, so which is the best part. तो 10 क्वेश्चन छोड़ने हैं तो वो भी अच्छी बात है कि छोड़ना है तो छोड़ना ही है, which means you can always figure out which questions to leave actually. So नहीं आता है या डर है किसी क्वेश्चन को लेकर के, तो आई थिंक वो पैनिक होना नहीं चाहिए. I spoke about this 2 days before the examination on YouTube. We did a session with our students online. You were also there, so मैंने सेम चीज बोला था
Yeah.
कि 10 क्वेश्चन तो वैसे ही छोड़ने हैं, तो पैनिक तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए. तो हो सकता है कि कोई क्वेश्चन टफ हो तो वैसे भी उसको छोड़ के आगे बढ़ जाओ, बाकी 40 पे फोकस करो. बट What you
Yes.
mentioned right now is something which has not come up from the students yet, and I think that is the advantage of a faculty member taking the examination. एक faculty member जब exam लिखता है तो उसको पता होता है कि last year क्या आया था, क्योंकि आप लोग teach कर रहे हैं तो आपको thorough analysis last year के paper आपने खुद देखे हुए हैं सारे.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think this is a message for the students कि जो लास्ट ईयर के पेपर हैं, एनटीए ने जो सैंपल पेपर दिया है और लास्ट ईयर का जो उन्होंने पेपर डाउनलोड करने के लिए आपको दिया है, आप एक बार उसको जरूर देख लो, क्या पता यू माइट बी दी लकी वन. सो अक्षिका
Yes.
मैम, सॉरी प्रीति मैम, आई विल स्टार्ट विथ इंग्लिश फर्स्ट. आपने इंग्लिश का भी पेपर दिया था, शिफ्ट 2 में थे आप, तो
Yes, sir.
इंग्लिश में क्या क्या किस तरीके के क्वेश्चन पूछे गए आज?
English में it started with the passage. So three passages I got, जिसमें से एक poem based था और दो passages थे. So these passages, like it was meant or it was made in such a way like too many voices, active voice, passive voice, or direct speech kind of passages had been there. And the questions based on this, somewhere five questions from every passage they have asked, and it was easy to do because on the basis of your common sense, if you are stuck somewhere, so you can just apply your basic common sense and then you can do it. So passage was easy. Apart from this, I found, as I said, passive voice, active voice. So these kind of questions, somewhere 5 to 7 questions I got randomly. Some of synonyms and antonyms were very less. Two questions antonyms I got, and the synonyms, that was also very easy. Like commonly, whatever we some of the words we use very often, like victory, extravagant. So these words we are we come across in our daily life, so we can have some idea of it. It means it was not so difficult. So that was the thing. And apart from this, para jumbling. So somewhere 5 to 6 places I found para jumble phrases. So it was also easy to do.
So in fact, the number of questions from Parajambal got increased today actually.
Yeah.
So yesterday in first shift there were no figures of speech, but today that was also asked today morning actually. So I think they they are experimenting every day. But overall, what I heard, and I'm sure you would agree to this fact that English paper was by so far has been easy in all the shifts actually. Which also means I told about this yesterday, guys. So which also means कि फिर से कहानी repeat होगी last year की तरह. सो 100 परसेंटाइल मुझे अभी दिख रहा है कि वो 200 आउट ऑफ 200 होने वाला है फिर से, मतलब फुल मार्क्स भी 100 परसेंटाइल होगा. Nevertheless, so today we also saw the humanities domain subject being administered actually. So Priti, you appeared for history paper as well, which is your domain anyways
Yes, sir.
actually. So please share the analysis of the history paper which was in the second shift today.
First of all, I will go on the number of questions from every chapter. So last year, what I analyzed, like from every chapter, there were at least three questions they asked. Some of the chapters, number of questions were it increased, but this year they made a balance. How? Because some of the chapters whose weightage in the CBSE that wasn't so much, so they took care this in mind, and they also made their pattern like that. Like there is fifth chapter from which I found two questions only. Last year there was only one question, so this question is part of the CBSE syllabus. Then there is eighth chapter, from Mughal time period, which is based on the land revenue. So from there, this year they increased the number of questions. Why? Because the ninth chapter, the same Mughal Kings and Chronicles it is. So this year, although they added questions or somewhere 3 to 4 questions from the chapter, but last year number of questions were it was more than that. Somewhere 5 to 6 questions we used to get, but this year they decreased this number because permanently now it has been deleted. So somewhere number of questions they have changed. Apart from this, if I say the types of questions, so typology, they did the same like last year, some match based questions, and many match based questions had been there. And these all were and yes, in the match based, what they did, year based questions or year based matching they have made, which is new. It wasn't in any of the papers last year, and all such important events they made in such a way. Apart from this, as I said, match based questions. So in the match based, what they did, personality, their contributions, year and events, and moreover Mahatma Gandhi, that is the favorite topic of CUET now, because last year, as I saw, somewhere 10 questions from the same chapter, 10 to 14 questions it was, and same they did this year as well. Then, if I say, as I always convey to my students, that if you want to secure your marks, then directly jump onto the passage. So this year they made some change. What was that? Last year, they directly asked questions from the passages. But this year, what they did, only two questions from the passage. The other three, that was on the common sense, and it was very, very easy. And multiple times I've told my students that you need to have particular knowledge about this particular topic if it is being asked in the examination in the passage form, because it was very easy. Some source based informations they have taken and they have put into the question form. So, and apart from this, general knowledge had been applied, and it was very, very easy to do. So if you want to secure 10 questions and like 50 marks, so you can do it, then jump onto the different one. Then, apart from this, I found 20 to 23 questions directly fact based questions. These were like some of the year based questions, then some of the personality based questions, like so and so person has said this statement. So, these kind of, so, and fill in the blanks. So in total, it was 20 to 23 questions. So overall, if I say history was very good, in fact, I can say that I will score 100 percentile, which I never wanted, but still, it is good to do that. And apart from this, chronology, that is, I think, it is favorite typology of the CUET. So chronology based questions, these were somewhere 5 to 7 types of chronology they have asked from different chapters. Like as I said, in the fifth chapter, they have increased the number. Last year it was only one. This year, two questions had been there, and different personalities, the visitors who visited India, so they asked questions from that. Apart from this, there are certain chapters. Actually, when I used to teach my students, I used to tell them that from this chapter, what you have to focus upon. So the same way they have asked questions. So I hope those my students, they could take some knowledge from my lectures, and they could do it. And there are certain chapters from ancient, we can say, site based questions they have asked. As I told them in the classes as well, that map they will never ask you. They won't give you map based questions, but they could ask you site based question, and they did that this year. So sites, evidences, these are important to go through. Just have a look onto it, and that is all. So as I can say, because they have studied CBSE, they have prepared for the CUET as well. So this paper is going to be very easy for them, very easy to crack.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you so much. In fact, while you were talking about the history paper, I could make out one thing from this is that you did mention about the CBSE syllabus actually deleted. But yes, one thing is there, it was not completely deleted from the CUET, and that is what we have been speaking about.
Yeah.
CUET is a different exam, CBSE is a different exam. And one thing is very important to understand for every student is there is no set weightage for any particular topic. So it can
Yes.
vary on every day basis, actually yearly basis, actually. So there is no definite trend key. Unlike your board exams, whether you're from CBSE or any board, you know that this chapter will have a particular weightage. But here it
Yeah.
is not so actually. So you must learn each and every chapter. You must focus on each and every chapter with the same dedication. Second is there's nothing no concept called deleted syllabus over here. So deleted syllabus से कम आए but आए जरूर. So वो
Yes.
बिल्कुल आएंगे और हर बार आएंगे. So we continue this. I'll come back to you for your words of wisdom for the kids, definitely with your
Okay.
experience. So now I'll move to Akshika. Akshika, while you have not yet appeared for your subject, I'm sure you'll be appearing for it in the later stages. But you did give the English and GT paper today, and that too in the first shift. So I'll ask you to share your shift analysis. Basically, you can start with English and then move on to GT. And in the meantime, for the benefit of the students, beyond this, we will be covering pol science, geography, and PCM actually. So the feedback for the subjects which we have got today, our students appeared, our mentors appeared for that actually. Ashika, over to you. What was there in the paper today as far as English is concerned in your shift?
So for English also, I got three passages. One was narrative. That means they have taken a screenshot from, I think, Economics Times for 2015, the data that I have found in the net. So it was straight away the clipping that was given in the Economics Time 2015 for Abdul Kalam. And one was the normal, which was factual. That means it was easy one. And the other one was the poem. And rest of all the questions were vocabulary based, like speeches, passive voice, indirect direct speech, modals, prepositions, etc. More of that one. And there were acronyms and synonyms, etc. Rearrange, error and omission, and sequential based was more in English. So it was an easy one. Everyone attempted before time, I think. the one sitting next to me. So I had a chat with him. So they were like, ma'am, we have finished around 5 minutes, 10 minutes before. The paper was easy. So coming to the GT one, I think GT was difficult. Most of the students have left around 9 to 10 questions, because what mistake they did was they started answering from the beginning. They didn't look in between or starting from the bottom. So the suggestion I gave to them was ki, like, you should answer like 15 to 20 questions from the beginning. Then you should come to question number 50 to see whether they are simple ones or the difficult ones, so that it doesn't like look like you have left out the easy ones. And for the GT current affairs, it was also only, and there were more like columns for GK, like authors, freedom fighters, book publishers, sports, and more was arithmetic in GT paper, like geometry, triangle, volume question was there, volume of a cylinder, then compound and simple interest. But the students were not aware that these questions will come and did not prepare for that. And 2 to 3 questions came from simple and compound interest. So they left that. And there was time-based diagram questions, sequential diagrams. Then what will be the, if a person is standing at the north direction, then the shadow will be formed. So trigonometry questions were there. Then missing numbers, linear equations. So the questions was like that. So GK was less and arithmetic was more in GT.
Yeah. So in fact, very similar to yesterday, I would say. In fact, the proportion of the reasoning and GK has been almost equal, 12 to
Yeah.
14 questions coming from there. But numerical ability is where this time they have focused upon actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you mentioned, quite a number of questions came from arithmetic, and that is what happened yesterday as well. तो students के लिए surprise नहीं होना चाहिए था actually. So we spoke about this yesterday, and if you see the last year paper, these entrances where the mathematics is up to class 8, 9, 10th level, they always focus more on arithmetic, bit on algebra and geometry. तो परसेंटेज हो गया, रेशियो प्रोपोर्शन हो गया, टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस, टाइम एंड वर्क, SI, CI, मेंसुरेशन, ये सब चैप्टर्स पे तो नॉर्मली क्वेश्चन रहते ही हैं. आई ऑल्सो गॉट फीडबैक फ्रॉम द अदर स्टूडेंट्स एक्चुअली. तो वही चीज थी जो आपने बताई थी, तो बिल्कुल ये सारी चीजें नहीं थी. आई थिंक इट वाज मोर अबाउट द प्रिपरेशन. What I remember from your shift is ऑलमोस्ट वेराइटी मेंटेन किया था. नंबर सिस्टम से भी क्वेश्चन आए, मीन मीडियम
Yes.
मोड से भी क्वेश्चन आया,
Yeah.
सिंपल इंटरेस्ट आपने बता ही दिया, ज्योमेट्री से 3-4 क्वेश्चन थे. कल तो इनफैक्ट ज्योमेट्री से ज्यादा क्वेश्चन पूछे गए थे. सो स्टूडेंट्स, यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर वेल. देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड सरप्राइज. You know, you have seen the paper of last year. NTA ने sample paper भी दिया, NTA ने last year पेपर भी रिलीज किए. इस बार करंट अफेयर्स अभी तक ज्यादा देखने को नहीं मिला है.
And
स्टैटिक
they were
जीके
prepared more for current affairs. Like they
Yeah.
were saying कि at last moment till तब तक वो current affairs ही practice कर रहे थे
हाँ,
till
so
midnight.
स्टैटिक इस बार ऑलमोस्ट 80% है, तो वो थोड़ा सा डर
Exactly.
बन रहा है. बट प्लीज रिमेंबर, डोंट कंप्लीटली शिफ्ट टुवर्ड स्टैटिक और करंट छोड़ देना है, क्योंकि हर रोज पेपर अलग होगा. एवरी डे इज अ
Exactly.
डिफरेंट डे. In every day you have 3 shifts actually. 2 shift में English और GT तो हो ही रहा है. So please understand, every day the paper will be different. So what is the proportion today may not be the same tomorrow. तो एक कोई सेट कि पिछले 2 दिन में क्या हुआ, थर्ड डे भी वही होगा, ऐसा कुछ जरूरी नहीं है. हो सकता है कल रीजनिंग ज्यादा हो और न्यूमेरिकल एबिलिटी कम हो. दूसरा, हम एज अ स्टूडेंट आइडेंटिफिकेशन थोड़ा डिफरेंट तरीके से करते हैं. इफ यू आस्क मी प्रोबेबिलिटी, मैं रीजनिंग में अटेम्प्ट बात करूंगा, बट स्टूडेंट्स उसको मैथमेटिक्स के तौर पे देखते हैं, बिकॉज स्कूल में वो मैथ्स में पढ़ते हैं, इस वजह से एक्चुअली. Thank you, Akshika. I'll come back to you. Krishnendu, so how was your experience? I think after a long time you have appeared for an entrance examination, isn't it? We
Definitely,
made
yes.
you write the paper. So you appeared for Pol Science and Geography actually. So we'll start with Pol Science. I think that's something which is very interesting. I really love that subject. So I haven't studied, but I really love. And I saw the questions which you shared with us. I think very easy ones, I could say. So what was the feedback of the kids at your center about the Pol Science paper?
So the feedback regarding the test was easy only among the students, but what my personal experience, and I also talked with other students as well, and what I have witnessed in the center personally, the real test is not inside the hall, it's outside. Because once you are inside the hall, the question starts appearing in your system, then you are like, ये तो बहुत easy है, ये तो आता है. But the real the main time when you should hold your nerve is the outside the examination hall, because वहाँ पे गर्मी इतना ज़्यादा है, and there is humongous crowd in front of every center. And most of all is shift 2 and shift 3, because shift 1 is the first shift of the day, but in shift 2 में एक लोग निकल रहे हैं, उसमें साथ में simultaneously हम घुस भी रहे थे, तो seeing the crowd and the heat and the scorching sun, तो होता है कि थोड़ा सा अनटल हो जाता है नर्व कि क्या ही होगा क्या नहीं होगा, इतने बच्चे ही हो. But once you sit and settle inside the examination hall and the question starts appearing, then the questions are really easy. But from that perspective, another question comes into play, that questions are easy, so it's easy to, the exam is easy to crack, but how easy is to score 100 percentile? Because we all know, to get to the top universities and the colleges, you need to score 100 percentile. And if the questions are easy, it's just not for you and me or us, it's easy for almost everyone. So that thing the students has to keep in mind. And most of the people I have been seeing in the examination hall, and I have been seeing analysis in different places, people are saying कि 5-10 मिनट पहले ही हमारा पेपर तो हो गया था. बट डोंट टेक योर चांसेस. होता है ना कि बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन आ जाता है तो पीपल हाँ हो गया कर दो सबमिट, बट यू शुड गो बैक. हाँ, वो होता है ना, इजीनेस आ जाता है, ठीक है हो जाएगा, बट इंस्टेड ऑफ सिटिंग दोस 5-10 मिनट्स आइडल और गोइंग फॉर द वॉशरूम और गोइंग फॉर अ कप ऑफ वाटर, सिट बैक एंड गो थ्रू कि हाँ इजी के चक्कर में कहीं मैंने ऐसा नहीं कि इजी कोई गलती कर दिया. So that is the thing. Otherwise, the question paper, the questions that I appeared in both the subjects, political science and geography, they are very much easy, I would say, because I have been out of touch for those subjects for more than a decade almost now. But looking at those questions, even few of the question was like, मैं भी वो तो कोई भी कर देगा. It's not me or you or anyone else, कोई भी कर देगा. But there are some tricky questions as well, because there was a question on female literacy rate in some state according to 2011 census. So वो होता है कि थोड़ा सा ट्रिक, मतलब ये you have to read the full question, यानी कि female literacy rate देखा बस डाल दो, तो कौन सा ईयर का पूछा है exactly, you have to minutely read the whole question, then only attempt. ये नहीं कि आधा क्वेश्चन देखा तो easy लग गया तो just you go and attempt it. And if I talk about specifically about the geography paper, I have made a detailed, मतलब ये कि questions are broadly from 3-4 main topics. There are 4-5 questions came from each of those topics. Those are like human geography, then human development, then there are more questions from transport and communication, then there are questions regarding human population and their settlements, and there are questions also from mineral and energy resources. These are the broad topics. From it, like 4 or 5 questions came from each of these topics, and there are other topics like 1 or 2 odd questions out from there, like land resource and agriculture. Then one interesting question there was like in Telangana state, the agricultural movement against land
movement. Who led that peasant
movement? Yeah, peasant movement for redistribution of agricultural land, led by which political party? Like this type of questions are there. And in geography, another dominant trend that I have seen in this year's question is there are like 5 to 6 questions each from match the following and identify the statements category. Like there will be one statement or one situation or one any entity or things will be given, and there will be 4-5 statements given after that, and you have to choose from them which all correct statements you think are correct. So you have to go through them, because these things, they seems to be easy, but they are tricky, because you might be missing out on some minor things, and that will make you commit some mistakes. So you have to do these questions minutely. And in match the followings, there are broadly questions from like there are geographical terms, and you have to match them with their definitions. Then there are regional trade blocks names are given, and you have to match them with their respective headquarters. And there are also questions from human developments in their phases and features of those phases, like that type of question. And also there are like one question from still plants. There are name of still plants given, various still plants, and what are the major inputs. So overall, what I think that geography paper was really easy. Like same goes with the political science as well. But my opinion and my input for the students who are going to take the exams in the coming days would be, when you are thinking exams is easy, वो डेफिनेटली बाकी बच्चों को भी वैसा ही लगेगा. सो प्रिपेयर इवन हार्डर बिकॉज इट इज इजी टू क्रैक, बट यू योर टारगेट शुड बी, इफ इट इज इजी देन यू हैव टू हिट द बुल साइड, दैट्स 100 percentile. देन ओनली यू कैन सीट विथ कामनेस कि हाँ ठीक है मैंने बहुत अच्छा गया है पेपर. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट अनदर ये इज लाइक, मतलब डोंट get panicked or don't hold your nerves when you are outside the exam center. क्योंकि भीड़ देखकर मेरा भी एक टाइम मेरा भी ऐसा लग गया था यार, मतलब कब तक घुसेंगे. और एक्चुअली इट हैपेंड, क्योंकि इस बार टेक्निकल ग्लिचेस नहीं है, बट सर टू टेल इट फ्रैंकली कि टेक्निकल ग्लिचेस पर नहीं है, बट शिफ्ट टाइमिंग्स आर गेटिंग डिलेड, क्योंकि सेंटर्स हैव टू डील विद सो मेनी क्राउड्स लीविंग एंड अगेन एंटरिंग. तो इसके सेंटर्स आर गेटिंग थोड़ा सा रेटल्ड बाय दिस ह्यूमंगस क्राउड दे हैव टू डील विद. तो एग्जाम्स थोड़ा सा लेट स्टार्ट होगा, बट डोंट गेट पैनिक, सिट calmly, let the time come, and when the question paper comes in front of you, start solving them, and at the end don't forget to come back and recheck and revise your answers instead of sitting idle.
Thanks,
That's
Krishnendu. I think you have covered a lot of points beyond what I was looking at. So it's a lesson actually which we have been talking about, and even during the paper last year while we were witnessing technical glitches, मैं हर रोज आकर के बच्चों को ये बोलता था, while there could be a possibility of technical glitch, but please understand there is no loss of time. So all you have to do as a student, as an exam taker, is टू होल्ड योर नर्व्स ओवर देयर. किसी भी तरीके का पैनिक नहीं होना चाहिए और साथ साथ में एक्साइटमेंट भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि इजी पेपर देख के इतना एक्साइटेड हो गए. सो व्हाट यू मेंशन कि अगर लास्ट में 5 मिनट बच जाता है तो बेटर टू रिमेन सीटेड, गो बैक, लुक एट योर पेपर वंस अगेन, see if you have not made any silly mistakes, and don't walk out. I saw last year as well students walking out to have water because wo 2-3 minute koi nahi dekhta hai, you can before you change your subject. So I think this is all about that patience during the exam, before the exam, and holding on to your nerves. Koi excitement nahi hona chahiye, koi panic nahi hona chahiye. So before I come back to you Preeti and Akshika once again, I'll just quickly cover the third shift which was about sciences. So I have inputs from the students for the physics, chemistry, and core mathematics. So third shift, I think they have kept for the science papers. So I'll just quickly cover that. So physics, one thing is very clear. There is no particular topic which you can say has lots of weightage in the examination. So if you look at what has been the distribution of the questions from the topics, electrostatistics से भी 2-3 क्वेश्चन आए, करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से करीब 3 क्वेश्चन थे, मैग्नेटिक इफेक्ट्स ऑफ करंट एंड मैग्नेटिज्म के ऊपर 4 क्वेश्चन थे, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक इंडक्शन अल्टरनेटिंग करंट्स के ऊपर 3 क्वेश्चन, ऑप्टिक्स के ऊपर करीब करीब 6 क्वेश्चंस थे, रेस के ऊपर 3, वेव्स के ऊपर 3, dual nature of matter and radiation 3 questions, atoms and nuclei 2 to 3 questions, electronic devices match the following set आया था, communication systems 2 questions, semiconductors 3 questions. So there is no specific weightage to any particular topic, it is more about uniformly distributed. And जो मुझे लग रहा है कि मतलब किसी एक पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक को वेटेज देने के बजाय आपको भी जो स्टूडेंट्स अभी आगे एग्जाम देने वाले हैं, आप हर यूनिट हर चैप्टर के ऊपर अच्छे से फोकस करके रिवाइज कर लो. फिजिक्स स्टूडेंट्स फाउंड little bit on a moderate difficulty level side, not difficult but moderately difficult. केमिस्ट्री भी लोगों को थोड़ा मॉडरेट लगा था और यही स्टोरी कल की भी थी. If I talk about chemistry, solid state around 3 questions, solutions 3 questions, electricity, electrochemistry 3 questions, P block elements पे करीब करीब 4 questions थे, D and F block elements पे 4 से 5 क्वेश्चन आए, कोऑर्डिनेशन कंपाउंड्स के ऊपर केस स्टडी था, 5 क्वेश्चंस थे, हेलो एल्कीन्स हेलो एरिन्स के 2 क्वेश्चन पूछे गए, केस स्टडी अल्कोहल्स फिनॉल्स और इथर्स के ऊपर भी था, उसके ऊपर भी 5 क्वेश्चन पूछे गए थे, एल्डिहाइड्स के ऊपर एल्डिहाइड 7 एमीन के ऊपर 4 क्वेश्चन करीब करीब, ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स नाइट्रोजन जो है वो 4 क्वेश्चन, बायोमोलिक्यूल्स 2, पॉलीमर्स 2, केमिस्ट्री इन एवरीडे लाइफ 3. सो अगेन इन द केमिस्ट्री पेपर देयर इज अ यूनिफॉर्म डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन अक्रॉस द वेरियस टॉपिक्स व्हिच यू हैव लर्नड. Mathematics. So first talking about section A of the mathematics, which is the common between the applied maths and the core maths. Matrices 4 questions, integration 3, differential equations 1, probability distributions 2, linear programming 1. तो ये 15 questions का breakup रहा. B1 core mathematics, unfortunately we do not have feedback for applied mathematics today. So B1 की बात करें, relations and functions के ऊपर 5 questions थे, inverse trigo के ऊपर 1 question, matrices के ऊपर 3 questions थे, कॉन्टिन्यूटी एंड डिफरेंशियबिलिटी के ऊपर 3 क्वेश्चन, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ डेरिवेटिव्स टू इंटीग्रल्स टू, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ इंटीग्रल्स का 1 क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशंस के फिर 3 क्वेश्चंस थे, वेक्टर्स पे 2, three-dimensional geometry again had 4 questions, same as probability which was around 3-4, और लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग के ऊपर 2. तो यहाँ पर भी ऑलमोस्ट यूनिट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज वेरी मच यूनिफॉर्म. तो मतलब कोई भी ऐसा टॉपिक नहीं है, बट मैथ्स लोगों को इजी लगा, वो डिफिकल्ट नहीं लगा था. जैसा फिजिक्स थोड़ा मॉडरेटली डिफिकल्ट लगा या केमिस्ट्री लगा, मैथ्स पीपल फाउंड टू बी इजियर एक्चुअली. एंड आई थिंक अब जो एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मिल रहा है मैथ्स में, 15 मिनट्स एक्स्ट्रा, 1 घंटे का पेपर हो गया है, सो दैट इज ऑल्सो हेल्पिंग द स्टूडेंट्स. वो जो पिछले साल पैनिक कर रहे थे कि कैलकुलेशन करने में समय लग रहा है, तो आई थिंक वो इशू अब नहीं रहा है. दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई probably they are finding it easier as well. And I'm sure they are all well prepared actually. After all, they knew about the importance of CUT examination. So that was all the story for day 2, all 3 shifts combined for today. We'll continue with these sessions every day. So do watch our first impressions after the first shift gets over on the same channel, CLCUT. And every day at 8 p.m. we'll be coming back live for that day particular analysis. So Priti and Akshika, being the mentors, what would be your one statement for the students who would be appearing for the examination in coming days? We'll start with you, Priti.
For the students, just trust yourself, trust your syllabus, trust your preparation, and trust yourself. That is the only mantra. Prepare it. You have prepared already. Just revise it up before entering in the examination also. And one day, the very, the day before your examination, just be relaxed. There is no need to be panic. Just trust yourself that you have done it and you are going to nail it. That is all.
Okay, Akshika.
Exactly what Preeti ma'am said, but just a few add in. Just refer to NCRT. What I observed today, people
Yeah.
are referring other books, like other publications, and they were not focusing on NCRT. So my opinion will be refer to NCRT in the end days because it will be very helpful for you people.
And one more
Don't.
thing.
Yeah, you can
Sorry.
continue.
One more thing I want to say here, as I always say to my students, that NCRT is the Bible for you. Just go through each and every word, what has been written, and they will ask you directly, what is my experience? Whether whatever subject you just go through it, just look out the previous year question paper or this year's questions, we can say. They have just taken the words or phrases and they have put into the question form. So NCRT is very, very important to go through it. If you can skip reference, just do it. There is no need to do reference books. NCRT is everything for you.
Krishnendu, your words of advice?
So मेरा वही सेम रहेगा कि stay focused and don't commit any silly mistakes in a hurry. And
Thank you so much.
one more thing, sir. One thing I noticed today in the examination hall, like people are completely prepared for the test and everything. They have prepared the syllabus. They are too confident about the exam, but they are not going through the instructions written on the backside of the admit card, because there are many people I came across in the center who reached the center unprepared. Like they didn't have their extra photographs with them. They are having their left thumb impression missing in their admit cards, and even the dress code also. Like even for gents or ladies, even you can't wear a belt and enter the examination center, but people are wearing. And in some centers they might be having things to keep your belongings, but in
Correct.
many centers the facility might not be available. So be prepared from your end and don't reach the center preparing just your syllabus, but be prepared for the exam also. Like the things that are needed, go through the admit card once, backside of the admit card, before you go for the exam, because there
Okay,
are instructions are clearly written there.
so what I will say is Krishnendu sir is saying backside, which is page 2, because
Page,
I printed his admit card yesterday back to back, so he got the instruction
page
backside. So I was ensuring he writes the examination, guys. So I printed his admit card, made his thumb impression in front of me, made him do that actually yesterday when we were in office. So anyways, so very important. Please read the instructions. Undertaking is on the front page itself in the admit card. Please put your thumb impressions over there. Carry one passport size photograph which should be identical to what you have pasted in your application or posted in your application. Do carry the photo ID card, what they have asked for. All instructions are given in the admit card, page 2. Please follow that. This will unnecessarily create panic. Actually, you can't say that I didn't see it. You are expected to see that. So with that, we come to an end for day 2 analysis today, and we'll come back tomorrow once again at 8 p.m. with new panel members who will be appearing for the exam tomorrow. And of course, in the coming days, we'll have Krishnendu, Preeti, and Akshika coming back because they will be writing more examinations. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here and sharing your insights of day 2 with the students. And on behalf of CL team, I wish you all the best, all the students out there who will be appearing for examination tomorrow. And in the coming days, those who have not received the city intimation slip and admit cards for the next papers, that will be released probably shortly, maybe tomorrow or day after. So don't panic. Most of us have not got the city intimation slip yet, which means our exams will be scheduled from 29th onwards. The exam dates have been advanced, actually increased. Actually, we have more number of days the exams will be happening, especially in cities where applications are higher. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Akshika and Krishnendu, for
Thank you,
joining me
sir.
today. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir.
and good night to all of you.
Good night, sir.
Thank you. Good night.